You know, I got so many things on mine. I actually got up this morning and ran. I know that's actually saw Ernie when I was coming back in. He was in the weight room. That's how I clear my head every morning, and just thinking about a lot of things. And if you talk to me long enough, you know I'm going to talk about my children, which I've learned a lot of things by being a dad. Of course, it's the first time I've ever been a dad, so I'm learning as I go, right? But I've learned a lot of valuable lessons. One of the lessons I've learned did you know that if you have a queen-size waterbed and you jump on it correctly or incorrectly, it can fill a 12 by 14 foot room full of 1.25 inches of water. Did you know that? Oh, this is something else. We have a pet at home, we have a dog, and how many of you parents bought a dog or a pet of any kind for the reason that your kids said that they were going to take care of it? Okay, who lets the dog out? Michelle and I do, right? And it's funny that one of the biggest things I want to tell you about a marketing idea, did you know that the dog's messes in the house are invisible to everybody else except for me? Did you know that? I just thought this marketing idea, we could have invisible poop. You could have that. EHSS. We could sell it like frisbees and throw it out and everything.
Hey, Wayne!
Wayne's not. Sorry, Wayne. I'm not even looking at Wayne. Did you also know that all the little Legos and the beads and stuff that the girls use to make bracelets and all those little things in the house give new meaning to the Bible verse that this too shall pass? Can you follow me on that? Yeah. And some of you get that later. They eat it, basically. You understand that, right? And of course, traveling, I have girls, which you all know that. But I was with a group of boys this last week at a fifth grade camp it was a Bradford Woods thing. And after being in a cabin full of 14 boys, fifth graders, and then traveling back and forth with my girls back and forth when they go to practice and all that stuff, you really don't want to know what that smell is. I know we ask it. You really don't want to. You don't want to know what that smell is. You don't even ask, because how many of you said, "What is that smell?" You really don't want to know what that is. Hey, you said I could say whatever I want to. This was on my heart.
So far, I've counted 3 terms of poop.
What you see is what you get. But it's amazing when you make that dedication and the commitment to raise your children. You know what? Your kids really don't bring a lot to the table when they're born. They bring a lot of. They bring a lot of bills. They bring a lot of sleepless nights. But you love them. You love them unconditionally. And they didn't bring a lot to the table, but it doesn't matter. Anything that they do, they can't do a thing that will end your love for them because you love them that much. And the cool thing about that is it's like our walk with Christ. Because when I came to the table, I didn't bring much. But he loved me anyway. Yeah. And he does, and he walks with me and talks to me. And a lot of people are saying, did you hear a voice from God to tell you that this is what you needed to do? I didn't, and maybe it would have been a lot easier. But you do the things that you think are right, and this is right for me right now. And you know what? Okay, whew, all right. I wanted to do something, and I know this day's about me, and that's kind of cool, actually. But in the Bible, it talks about the story of Jesus washing the disciples' feet. And how humble that was. The ultimate form of Christianity. And he said, if you believe in me, then you should wash each other's feet. Now don't get excited. There are going to be bowls of water coming in here. Because Jesus loves me and I love him. And I love them. But Jesus knows I can't stand feet. But I wanted to do something today. And this is going to be the hardest part for me. Because it means a lot to me. And you know what? I'm not going away. I'm going down a different path. And I've been in a lot of your churches. And thanks to this weekend, I'm being a lot more. And I thank you for that. I'm looking forward to some new adventures and just doing things a little different. And I'm looking forward to jumping back on that bus whenever I want to jump on. But I want to do something for the guys, and they have no idea what I'm going to do. Jimmy, I want to thank you for allowing me to sleep at night and not worry about getting from place to place. There's many times that he knows that I want to get home for a ball game or get home and I'll say, hey man, I've got a game I want to get to. Is there any way you could put the pedal to the metal so I can get back? And the old bus driver term is, put your Velcro on, boys, we're going home. And I just want to thank you for being my friend, and I cherish you. I thank you so much. And Blake, stand up, man, so they can see it, because a lot of times you don't get to see it. There's not a person who does what Blake does. A lot of times the guys get, the only thing the sound man gets is the music's too loud. I can't hear the voices. I can't hear. And the only time they get talked to is when it's bad. And there's not a person that does what he does that cares more than Blake Bennett. There's so many times that I'll come, yes, that's great. And I'll often get a text. I mean, all the guys, we all text back and forth, but I'll get a text a lot of times that says, hey man, you're on my heart today. I just want to encourage you and tell you I love you. And in front of everybody, I love you and I cherish your friendship. You sit down because you're taller than me anyway. So I was so happy when Paul came to the group. One reason is because we needed a pick-me-up, and we needed the exact right person, and he was that person. And not only an amazing talent, but an amazing man and a good daddy. And as singers, we listen to a lot of people that we like and we enjoy to hear sing. And knowing what a great dude that you are, I get more pleasure out of sitting back on a stool and listening to you sing. You are my favorite singer, and I mean that. And I'm not going to talk about poop with you.
I don't know, there's some things that's just a good pattern to continue.
Devin came along at the right time in the group because another thing was for the same reason Paul did, because the group had come to a point and come so far and needed to pick me up. And what an amazing, infectious personality that he has. And we needed that a lot. And not only that, I love to run. You guys know that. Devin kind of jumped in that role as a running buddy of mine. And we have what are called run talks. And you can solve a lot of the world's problems on an hour run together. When you're just being open with each other. We know way too much about each other. Wait a minute, that didn't sound real good. Not that much. But I have literally ran around the world with this guy, and he is my partner in crime, and I can't love you anymore. I love you to death, and I appreciate you being here and being my friend. I cherish that. Wayne Hahn.
You can skip me.
Wayne came along at a good time for me as well, because, to be honest, Wayne came along when I needed to be challenged, and I needed to become a better artist. I needed to become a better singer and performer. And I needed that, and I needed somebody that wasn't afraid to tell me that I was messing up, or I was making a mistake, or how to correct it and what to do to make it right. And much more than that, he's ran all over the world with me as well, and
Just only half the hour. Can't make it all the way.
he's been a super close friend. We go on vacations together, and something I cherish. If the world ever really finds out, and if you really find out how amazingly talented you are, and you find out how much you are really, really appreciated and loved, you're going to be dangerous. And we love you so much. And I appreciate it. David and I have been together the longest. Actually, we traveled in a group called Lighthouse for 6 or 7 years before Ernie. We met Ernie, and David and I have been through everything together, through deaths and family problems and everything like that. And you guys know David, he's the MVP of this group, but he's an MVP in my life. There's not a better man in this world, and I mean that, than David Griffith, and I love you. About 15 years ago, most of you have heard the story. I was singing with David in a group called Lighthouse, and I was singing a little Baptist church in Franklin, Ohio. And of course, I'd known Ernie because from the cathedrals and stuff. We were all cathedral fans, and Ernie was doing some solo work. And we were on a program with him as Lighthouse, and then Ernie was going to close out the program and do his solo stuff at that time. And I knew that I wanted to make friends with him, because I'd watched him from a distance and I wanted to be his friend. So when he came in, of course, our two loves were quartet music and playing basketball. And so we immediately started talking about that, and it was an instant connection. And when we wound up singing that night with Ernie, I think it was He Made a Change or something like that, we got to sing. And Lisa was actually with you that night. And after the show, he came up to me and said, if I ever start a group, if I ever start a quartet, I'm going to give you a call. And I was like, yeah, right, whatever, you know. But he gave me his cell phone number that night, and absolutely he knew nothing about me. He didn't know who I was or really what I was all about, but he did. He answered his cell phone, and every time I would call, and we would dream a little bit over the phone and talk about some things, but nothing really ever came up. Well, about 2 years later, I was sitting in a family room at our house, and the phone rings, and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Hey, this is Ernie. I'm doing a Christmas solo project down here, and we want you to come and sing backgrounds on it. Would you be interested? I said, sure, I'd love to, but when do you need me? He said, I need you tonight. And it was in Nashville, which was 5 hours away. So yeah. So Michelle helped me pack my bags real quick, and I was out and went to the hotel in Nashville, and we got up and did the background vocals, and it was great. We sang and had fun. The next morning, we got up, and of all things, we went on a run together, and started dreaming a little bit. He said, I think I'm going to start this quartet. Would you be interested in being in it? And of course, I jumped at the chance, and 13 years later, we get to sit right beside each other still, and I love that. And nobody would ever know my name if it wasn't for this man. And he's been more than a friend, he's been a brother, and because I don't have any. And he's been a mentor. I've learned so much by sitting back and watching, and just little tidbits of information. And I can honestly say, through the platform that he's given me, and through all the stuff that he's put me out in front for 13 years, and let me be me, and let me shine. Probably a lot more times than you should have, actually. He let me do my own thing and led me to the point where I can stand on my own because of him in so many different ways. And I want everybody to know, not that they did, I can never repay you that. And I appreciate you, and I cherish your friendship. So I don't know what the schedule is, but I want to tell you as well. You've accepted us into your home. You're going to accept us into your home, whether you know it or not. We like steaks and potatoes. I appreciate all the Facebook messages and the contacts for dates and solo stuff. My schedule's filling up great. Very, very, very excited about that. And I'll be in a lot of your churches. I've been in a lot of your churches before, and I'm coming back, by the way, so go ahead and rebook that. But I want to tell you, thank you for accepting us, and thank you for loving my family and allowing us to be ourselves, even though we talk about poop a whole bunch. I just want you to know how much we love you, and this is definitely not the end. It's just the start of a new chapter, and really looking forward to that. And I want to tell you how much my family loves you, and I want to tell these guys, and they already know, how much you meant to my family. And I look forward to what we got going on in the future, and I appreciate you all. God bless you.